everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Kyla, and my channel is just a plethora of all things that I love, and today we're talking about my unpopular American Girl opinions. I've seen a ton of people do this quite recently, actually, and I don't know who exactly came up with it, but it was by far not me. So I have already filmed this video once and my footage got corrupted, so here we are back at it again, but it's okay, it's alright. Also, with opinion-based videos, I just want to remind you guys to please be respectful to myself and each other in the comments. A couple of my opinions are super rare and out there. Others, I've noticed, are becoming more popular, so they're not super popular, and they can still be considered unpopular. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we have my lovely Sienna, my Truly Me 83 here, and she is one of my favorite dolls I own. As usual, if you don't have her, please get her. But my first unpopular opinion is that I actually am a huge fan of the lightest skin tone, so like the Blair and the 81, and obviously the 83 and 84 skin tones. I love that skin tone because I am so pale and it makes it really hard for me to tan. I go outside and I burn super easily. So when I found out that they had a skin tone that matched mine, I was like, heck yes, finally someone understands my pale ways. So I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of this because there already was a light skin tone, but if you're super pale like me, it wasn't pale enough. So I am a huge fan of this skin tone. It makes incredible customs. I have my custom 84 Merlot, and she is just the cutest thing ever. So I love the pale skin tone. My second unpopular opinion is that I love Isabelle Palmer, and she is my favorite girl of the year. So I always feel like I have to defend myself when I say this because yes, she's a very basic looking blonde doll, and if you know me, you know I love my blondes. So I just feel like I always have to defend her, and Isabelle and I have a very unique bond because as you can see here, this is my Isabelle, and I swapped her to have blue eyes because that is the only thing we actually did not have in common at the time that I got her. Basically, what I mean by that is I danced for 10 years. I did know how to sew at one point. I am a huge cat person, and my favorite color is pink. I also have blonde hair, and my face is basically the classic mold. So the only things we really didn't have in common were our skin and our eye color. So I decided to give my Isabelle blue eyes a couple months ago, and she is a little bit more tan than I am, but that's okay. So she is also really special to me because she was my first second-hand purchase, and she's the first doll I boil washed and kind of restored. So she's not perfect, but neither am I, so I feel like that's an even bigger connection that we have. I really love Isabelle. I also struggle with anxiety, as I'm sure a lot of you know, so that's another connection we have. Out of all of the girls that American Girl has released with stories, Isabelle is definitely the one that I can resonate with the most, and I really think that's part of why I love her so much. My next unpopular opinion is I do not like unnatural hair colors on 18-inch dolls. So there are two exceptions to this rule in my American Girl collection, and Princess Ariel here is one of them. She's a mermaid. She's meant to look unrealistic. And she has red hair. And you guys know I've always wanted to be a redhead, so that is slightly why I do prefer really vibrant, unnatural red hair. I do have a couple others in my collection with super bright red hair, like Merlot, my custom 84, and Penelope, my custom kit. She has more realistic looking red hair, but it's the orange and yellow highlights that kind of make her slightly unrealistic. But speaking of highlights and things that you can hide behind most of the wig hair, Cordelia, my custom Blair, has a peekaboo rainbow wig, and she is totally fine because you can cover up the rainbow streaks with her platinum blonde hair, so that is why I do absolutely adore her. So those are the two exceptions. Now, you also may be thinking, hold on, you collect Rainbow High. You're correct, I do. I think that the unrealistic hair colors look incredible on smaller dolls, like especially Rainbow High, because rainbow is in the title of the doll line. I think it works really well for them. It's just not for me. So I will never be buying 86, 87, and 88, or the new Truly Me's that American Girl is said to come out with because they also have colored hair. It's just not for me. If you're a colored hair lover, nothing against it at all. I just prefer realistic hair colors on the bigger dolls. This next opinion could get me into some hot water with some of you, so I do apologize in advance, but I don't like Sonali Matthews. Now, I have my darling Bindi, who is my 67, and I love her oh so much, and she has the Sonali mold. My sister has a Sonali, so I've seen one in person. I grew up with one. I don't get the hype. Yes, she gave us a new face mold, which I really like. But if we're talking about the doll and the character, I'm really not a fan of either one of them. I prefer Gwen Thompson's character story, and I like Chrissa's appearance. I think her eyes are really striking. So yes, Sonali is the diverse doll in that little trio, and yes, I do think she's cute. I just think she's extremely overhyped, and I'm just not on the hype train, I guess. Here is a doll that you guys have only seen in all my dolls videos, and that is my childhood Molly McIntyre, and she's here to tell you that I am not a Molly fan. So she was my third doll. She is not in great condition because I was 5 years old, and like the majority of my childhood dolls, they were very loved and very played with and taken absolutely everywhere. So I do like her gray eyes. I think that's really unique. However, if you were to ask me who I prefer, Molly, Kirsten, or Samantha out of the original three, it would be Kirsten, Samantha, Molly. So Molly's books, though, absolutely 100% recommend. It is one of my favorite time periods, so I do adore her books. Emily, though, is my personal preference out of the two, and that's probably because she has blue eyes and red hair, because, I'm very stereotypical in that regard. But I'm not a Molly fan. That's not to say she's not a great doll. I mean, she is part of what started it all. I'm not a fan, but I'm very grateful to actually have her in my collection. Speaking of dolls in my collection that I'm not a huge fan of, here is my childhood Julie Albright. Now, Miss Julie here, basically, when I was a kid, I loved her because of her hair, and she's not in awful condition, but she's not like brand new. But my Julie is pretty well kept. I do prefer Ivy because she has the Jess mold, which is my favorite mold, so I do love my Ivy a lot more. Julie's collection is a bit too vibrant for me. I don't really like a lot of patterns, but I think that's just because of my vision, so I like things to be very plain and simple. She's just never really struck me as an amazing doll. There's nothing really unique about her. She's also a tomboy, and you guys know I don't like sports, so I never really connected with this doll. So I think honestly where I'm going with this is I think Julie is overrated, and her collection has been revamped so many times. I think it's time for Julie to be cubed. My next unpopular opinion is that I love Mary Ellen Larkin. So here is my Mary Ellen doll, who I chose to rename Eleanor, and she is the only doll I have purchased in stores as an adult collector. I got Kirsten in the store when I was a kid, but I love Mary Ellen because her time period is the 1950s, and my favorite movie is Grease, and that's obviously set in the 50s. She has red hair, so you already know I'm sold. She does look like Courtney, I'm not gonna lie, but as someone who has both, they are very different, but they're also very similar, if that makes sense. I do prefer Mary Ellen over Courtney, so that's why I chose to put her on this list. Vienna is going to help me run through the last couple unpopular opinions super quickly, the first of which being, I love Kira Bailey. Now, Kira Bailey is my Vienna, who is right in front of you if you did not know, and I love her. Yes, she could have been a whole bunch of other things, but she's a really cute doll, and I do enjoy her collection a lot. My next unpopular opinion is I do not like the boy dolls, Bitty Babies, or Welly Wishers. I'm not a boy doll collector. I know there's a lot of people who aren't. I know there's a lot of people who are. And I get this question all the time. Why don't you collect boy dolls? I really don't know. I just don't. As far as the Bitty Babies go, I had the Bitty Twins as a kid. I never really did anything with them. I mean, I still have them. I don't touch them. They just kind of exist for, childhood nostalgia reasons now. I was never really a baby doll person. And as far as the Welly Wishers go, they don't necessarily creep me out. I just think they look really, really strange. So not a fan. My next unpopular opinion is that I have two unpopular opinions left, and the first of which being I don't like Luciana Vega. So I don't like any part of her collection. I don't like her colored hair, obviously. I do not like her, and kind of like Sonali, I just don't know what all the hype is about. I have seen Luciana in person. I do think she's okay looking. There was a point in time where I wanted her, but after, analyzing everything, she's just not a doll for me. If you love her, that's totally okay, but I am just not a Luciana fan. And my very last unpopular opinion is I love Tenny Grant. And Tenny Grant is a doll that is so controversial. Either you love her or you hate her, kind of like Isabelle, and I've said this before. I love Tenny. She will be a part of my collection one day. I think she's very pretty. I do obviously get massive Taylor Swift vibes, like a lot of people do, but I love Tenny, and she does not deserve all the hate that she gets. And there you have it, you guys. Those are just some of my unpopular American Girl opinions. Let me know in the comments down below what yours are, because I'd love to hear yours and obviously like compare if we have similar or different ones. Also, I do apologize for the quality of the pictures, because during the corruption of the footage, it just all became a disaster. So I do apologize. They were much clearer, I promise you. So if you have not already, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave a positive comment down below, and tap that really cool notification bell so you can know the exact moment I post a new video. Have a blessed day, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye, everybody.